hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. We are glad that you're here tonight. Of course, you already know who we are. Real talk, where real talk will talk. And we got some stuff to chew on tonight. So y'all gonna chew on this tea. Okay? So tonight, y'all already know what we do. Like, comment, and share. Hit that share button. It ain't gonna cost you 1 cent to hit that share button.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, once again, welcome everybody to Chew on This Tea, Real Talk with Queen Thickums, Dr. Tika, and LilBit on the scene. Our guest tonight is none other than April Woolsey, Miss AJ Jones, along with Mel Walters, baby. Y'all welcome to the show.
What's going
Hello.
on,
Hey,
man?
y'all.
And tell us
Hey,
a little
let's go.
I'm
yourself, baby.
excited. I'm excited to be here, man. Dr. Tiki. Yeah. Tika. Miss Wiggins, as they say. Miss Wiggins, Dr. Wiggins. I'm excited. I'm just excited. I'm going to start talking probably too much. I hope I don't talk too much.
Well, I want you to hold on because we're going to do ladies first and let AJ introduce herself because Melvin already took over AJ. Go ahead, baby.
Well, as they say, my name is April Woolsey, but nickname AJ. Y'all can call me that. I am a proud U.S. Army veteran. I am also a Gold Star wife, which is actually considered a military widow, and I am proud of that as well. So I thank you, ladies, for having me on the show.
We're
You
glad
most
to
very
have
welcome.
you. We're glad to
Oh,
have
and
both of you.
by way of the beautiful state of Columbia, South Carolina, I had to add that.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Sounds
okay.
like it.
Yes, we in the house, baby.
All
All
right.
right. All right.
Your turn, boo.
Oh,
It's
thank
on
you.
me. It's on me.
It's
Because, like
on
I
you.
said, I don't want to start taking over, though, man. I feel like I'm the host in a second. But, my name is Melverton Walters, man. Melverton Walters. That's my full name. Most people know me by Mel. I have an author's name by the name of LC. They call me Loose Change. It's a little play on words though, because Loose Change stands for everything about me always makes sense and it always add up to something. And so,
I like
yeah,
that.
it's a little theory, behind it, but it's also because I have a lot of change in my house. When you walk through my house, you see change all over the floor, all
Let me
over
hold some.
everywhere.
Let me
Yeah,
hold some.
so
Right.
yeah,
Should be missing it by now.
Okay.
yeah, that's why I wanted to all add up and all make sense. I'm by the way of Miami, Florida, though. I'm from a little city called Miami, Florida. It's a little country, but fast moving. Yeah, it's one of those little type of spots. But I'm excited, man, to be here. I'm excited to share a couple of stories with you guys, and hopefully, we could set this off and go 100,000 likes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. But I'm trying to figure out where country come in for Miami.
I
Oh,
ain't
because
lying.
that's
That
the way
way
it is.
love
That's
come in
that
it.
dirty South, girl. That's that dirty South.
Oh,
You know what the
okay.
dirty South is? That's
Okay.
that dirty South. Queen, you don't know about the dirty South?
I don't go to Miami.
Oh, that's what it is.
Well, it's
It's
part of
that's
my
too
family,
fast
so
for
I'm gonna
me.
send this
That's too
time
fast for the
to
queen.
Miami, Opalaka, baby.
Oh, you know a little something there. You know a
I
little
know a
something.
little something, something,
Yeah, Tika,
something.
you know a little something.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, tonight is different. It's totally different because we're gonna step out on faith. This is a faith show for tonight. So what has happened was just minding my own business in South Kakalaki at my brother King George back to school
That's right,
party.
cuzzo. My cousin.
I don't even know how AJ and I got on the subject, but she mentioned 365. That's in casual conversation. I'm like, okay, sound interesting. The very next day, or a couple of days later, Mel was hosting on our farm here in Quincy at one of our shows, and he mentioned 365.
Hold
I
up.
said, now, Lord, what are you trying to tell me?
Wait a minute.
Come
What
on.
what you call it?
365.
Oh, I thought Oh, I thought she said B65. I thought it was a vitamin.
You need some of that too. So
D65. I know that's right.
I thought she
Sure.
was talking about a
You
vitamin
need
there for a
one. You
minute.
gonna need
Oh,
one, girl. It's the same thing. You gonna
it's the
need it.
same thing.
You gonna need it. It's
It's
the
the same
same thing.
thing.
Don't worry about it.
same
Yeah.
thing,
All
same
right.
thing. So 365, I came back and I called Queen and a little bit. I was like, y'all know what? 365 keep coming my way. And Mel was explaining. I said, you know what, Mel, let me do this to talk about 365. I said, because I just talked to AJ. I got to get y'all connected because God is trying to tell me something. You know, 365 going around the world and everything. A year's worth. So
Yep.
he agreed and she agreed. So I'm like, I got to bring them together because it's something got to bridge this gap with this 365 and this spiritual anointing, especially being in the music industry.
Mhm.
What's the likelihood of commonalities coming across the same platform? So that's where I started at. And I was just so excited. We were supposed to have the show a while back, but due to the hurricane and we
Yeah.
lost power that time, we
Yeah,
had to
I was
cancel
sad.
that particular show. So God brought it back up again. I was like, I got to get this out. This
Let's run this
365.
back.
It's back. It's
Right.
back. So I'm gonna start with April because well, AJ, y'all gonna hear me say AJ
I mean,
more
you
than you
say
gonna say
AJ,
April
AJ. Yep.
because her book, two authors writing about 365 was just so phenomenal to me. So AJ, I'm gonna turn it over to you. Tell us about your book, and I do have it. Let me go to this is her book, Joy 365,
Yep.
a devotional for joy restoration.
Yes.
It's in your hand, baby. Tell us a little bit about your project and what happened and how was it
So
inspired.
I was invited by one of my military sisters, Dr. Patrice McKee, retired Army, of course. And she asked me, she said, because she see me post on Facebook all the time. I'm always like every day, I try to give some type of positive encouragement. I give a phrase or I post a picture or something to try to motivate everyone. Because definitely now, especially now.
Yeah.
Every
Especially
time
now.
you turn around, it's something bad. We got turmoil in the world, our economy. People are spiritually being challenged. People are painfully going through things. People are emotionally, mentally going through things. And she said, April, you would be a perfect candidate to join us. So Joy 365 is just that, like it says, every day may not be joy, but you have 365 days in a year to make it count. And it is
Right.
a project with 365 authors that was actually worldwide. We had a lot here. I can't remember the count in the United States, but we had some from South Africa. We had some from New Zealand. We had some from Germany. We had some from Italy. They were literally all over the place. And when we actually got it together to imagine that, because it was led by our facilitator, Dr. Vanessa Blackwell, who is an amazing author. She has, oh my God, well over, probably well over 100 publishings. And
Oh,
when we came through and I submitted my work. So it was actually a book and we did an affirmation journal.
oh
So the
wow.
journal itself, per page per author, which was so unique, and she did it by alphabetical order. So imagine that. But we did either you can do a Bible scripture, your favorite phrase, or something motivating or encouraging, and you can write down something that you tell yourself every day because some of us need that. We need,
Mhm.
even as we can be the strongest, but still be the weakest inside
Yeah.
on a lot of things. We can be the weakest and be the strongest on the outside, just depends on the day. So we also did the book and we did a book launch. We did a digital launch first, and then we did an actual book launch back in March. We met up with the authors. We did a big event in we met up in Maryland. And that was, I can't really say that was a focal point, but we met up in Maryland and we did a big meet and greet. And it was an awesome time because we met together the day before. Some of us got together and ate together, fellowship together to meet each other. And then the next day we met up. We had a one of the churches in that area were kind enough to let us use their, I guess, what do you say, event center, event hall. So they
Mhm.
allowed us to do that, and that's where we came together, and all the authors set up, and it was so beautiful to see Everybody had their own set table. You could decorate it however you wanted to. Um, and you just sold your books. We sold our books either online or we had some on hand and stuff. And that was a powerful project for me because well, a lot of people would, well, you guys may not know, but Tika does. I've been a widow now this year makes 22 years, a military widow. And I was 24 when my husband got killed when I was in Iraq. He was, both of us worked together. Both of us would, do military. And he was supposed to come over to Iraq in 2 weeks. Someone hit him on my motorcycle because he was going to store it so he can leave. And he was 24 years old. And I am, by the grace of God, 46. So this project stood out to me the most because I was able to at least minister to other people to show them life goes on after trauma, life goes on after pain, regardless of how bad it is. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to have children, but I have so many nieces and nephews and and godchildren and everybody my babies because I like to spoil them and love them. So God has allowed me to be blessed with that as well to kind of experience it and live through other people. So for me to be a part of that was a big project for me because I could literally show people in words as well. It's gonna be okay because
Yes.
some people need that outlet to see
Yes.
um, that you can walk through your pain, you can walk through your struggles and not be embarrassed because there are a lot of people that feel it's
Right.
embarrassing to get counseling and you're weak and something's wrong with you. You go get to the doctor to get help. And I'm not a big fan on medication per se. I'm a big fan more so finding a hobby, finding something that makes you
Constructive
smile,
thinking.
makes you happy.
Right.
There you go
Yes.
instead of and I get and there's nothing wrong with people that actually have to take medications for certain things and there's nothing wrong with that but at the same time um at least know and say who you are to be able to say you know what I can pick up let me do this to make me smile even if it's a simple walk
Yeah.
5 minutes or mm, for me y'all don't laugh at me I got a whole coloring book in crayon sometimes if I know I don't want to pop off on somebody
Ain't
I'm
nothing
go
wrong
ahead and
with
put
that.
crayons out, and I'm like, if you see me coloring, I got my little juice box, and go ahead mind the business that way. You leave me alone, because I'm having a moment.
Oh
But
goodness. I love it.
I'm currently at the gym, so that's another outlet for me because I love to work out, and I love to show that no matter how bad you feel inside, do something to pick your spirits up. I'm not sure what everybody's religious preference is, and whatever God you believe in, I know what God I believe in, what God I serve. I
Yeah.
just always tell people to have whatever faith that you can find
Right.
and believe in to heavily say, I got this, and he gonna make sure I pull through and make it through.
That's right. I love that. You know what? I am listening to you.
Thank you.
It's very encouraging. I'm so
Mm-hmm.
serious because we as people we go through a lot as it is anyway. And
That's
my
right.
Absolutely.
my everyday saying since 2020, every morning I'm posting, I'm gonna sit
Hmm.
right here and watch God.
That's
And
Right.
right.
that means in every aspect of my life, I don't care
Hmm.
what's good, what's bad. If I keep myself focused and stay positive and allow everything that I have been through that was negative work in my favor, because people, I take negativism, things that I've been through in my past, and I put it in song. And
That's right.
that's how I get my
See,
relief of
there
things
you
that I've
go.
dealt with. And when I sit and watch God in any aspect of my life, I'm gonna get my answer. So I love this. And when Tika was telling us about 365, I'm like, wait a minute, 365. There's 365 days of the
Do
year.
do
So
that
I was
math.
like, 365 days of the year. But it's to the point where if we focus on if we focus on ourselves, if we focus on good
Self care. Hmm.
self care, then it's easy
Yeah,
to give that energy to someone else,
yeah.
and,
Absolutely.
and stop being negative about everything. turn that negative into a positive. I'm
You
about
got
that
to turn
positive.
it
Because
into a
listen, don't
positive.
nobody want to be around somebody that always negative, always got a complaint,
Nagging.
always
Yeah.
got a problem, and never a solution, or woe is me, or Lord, here I go
Yes.
again. And I'd be like, okay, let me just give you a comment box.
Yes.
What's next? Here you go.
Yes. What's next?
Right.
I
And
Because
you
love it.
I
have
just
to
posted that.
trust. You have to trust the process. Well, y'all, I gotta jump in because Mel look like
Melly
he about to
Mel, he
bust
ready. He
wide
ready.
open.
I'm
He
I'm
look like
Come on,
he ready
Mel.
to
outnumbered.
bust.
First and foremost, I'm outnumbered. I have three beautiful ladies on the platform, and I'm over here in the corner like I'm enjoying it. I'm like this, and so I can't even lie. Like this is amazing to me. For her, for AJ, she told me to call her AJ from
Call me
earlier.
AJ, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want y'all to think that I'm just calling her out of her name. She told me to call her
No.
AJ, so we don't develop a little friendship. So that's like my people's
Yeah.
like that now, you know.
That's
And
fine.
so
Yeah.
yeah, and so when AJ's telling her story, I'm just sitting up here like, listen, everybody got one of them traumas.
Yeah.
Everybody got one of those things, man, and
You
it's good
don't
to know
know,
that.
right? You don't know what people are going through on a day to day. And like
Just
AJ,
just by their face.
I
Yep.
push positive promotion because
Hmm.
I don't want to be responsible for someone to be borderline ready to snap.
Yep.
And you got to give people encouraging words. That's how I was raised.
Yep.
So you're gonna always see me smiling. You're gonna
And you
always see
do.
me with positive motivations.
You do.
That's how
Yep.
I was raised. I don't want nobody to commit suicide on my watch.
I
I
know
just
that's
don't.
Right.
right.
If I can say you look good, or baby, let me pray for you, I'm gonna do that right there for you. But I ain't gonna help you jump off the bridge. I'm gonna reach down and hold your hand to pull you up from jumping. That's
Yeah.
just how I am, and that's not gonna change no time soon. But Mel,
Yeah.
you got a book about 365. You got to give them a
Yes.
little background about you.
Okay. I'm gonna say this. I think it's relatable to her situation because my life has not always been a crystal stair. And I got a quote that I write quotes, so that's how it all
Hmm.
started. I just went in my phone and I wrote all my books on my phone. So I was just tapping in stuff over a period of time. Things was happening, over time, and I didn't know if it was going to be anything. I didn't know if it was going to happen any type of way because I wasn't versed in reading and writing. I was
Right.
always challenged with that. I have dyslexia. I flunked first grade. I had a speech impediment. I had problems. It's not as bad as I am now because I've been working on it. I'm able to articulate a little bit better now. But back in 2020, it all started back in 2020. I think when I decided that I got a vision. Um, I believe in silence is the key to talking to God.
Yes.
Absolute silence. You can't do it within chaos because that's the devil's sounds and noise. I feel like when it's a lot of noise, a lot of destruction is happening, a lot of turmoil, it's all kind of stuff happening. I'll talk about this in book 3, but I don't want to give the people too much yet. I'm just going to touch on a
Just a
little
little
couple.
bit. Just a
Yeah,
little bit.
so we have a 4-part series though, a 4-part series. I cover things in seasons. I do like a
Okay.
90 days to 91 days because I believe like you learn things in 90 days, you learn a habit or you learn a certain things in a certain amount of days. And I didn't want to do all 365 quotes in one book because I wanted to explain the quotes.
Hmm.
Each one of the quotes has its own little situation and example, and I wanted to also ask questions to the readers. And I'm
Okay.
always been a person that's, yo, how do I get through this and give me a guideline because you said that this is new, just like you said, you're positive all the time. I am not always positive. I'm a mixture of both. I am both. That you could get me to go
Yeah.
here, then you can get me here and I'll be down. I'm a human being. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a straight
Right.
up human being. I go through stuff too. And I have people that are negatives and I turn it into positives. When I have
Mm.
people negative positive that I was like, that's not really positive. That's nice nasty.
Mm.
You so
Yeah.
nice, but you nasty with it, right?
Yeah. With it.
Yeah. And so getting back to the story though, I wrote it 4 parts and I called it my testimonies. my testimonies, things that I've been through that can help others to also get through what they're going through as well.
Mhm.
It could be positive, it could be negative. But the most of the books are self-help books. They are
Mhm.
self-help books.
I
They
like that.
all about helping yourself grow and become more. The first book is about individuality. You all was talking about that, and I was like, "Oh yes, I'm going to jump in and I'm gonna hit y'all with the individuality stuff because I wrote a quote that says, and somebody told me that it came from the Bible, but I didn't know it came from the Bible. I was just writing it because I know how bad fruits attached to good fruits and could spoil the bunch.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Yes.
how that works.
It is,
Like
yeah,
take a strawberry with fungus on it and attach it to
it
beautiful
is spread.
strawberries,
Hmm.
then just spread through. And I was like, well, what about the roots? What about the tree? If the tree ain't good, it can't offer no good fruits. So I said,
Okay.
no good fruits come from what? A bad tree.
A bad tree.
And so
That's
I
real.
started I started the spring version with that quote. That's the quote that you see in the beginning of the book. Spring version, no good fruits come from a bad tree. And then I think about the individuality one, right? And y'all was talking about this, and I had another quote. The quote was life is like lemonade. You have your sweet moments and you have your sour ones. But your sour ones is what give you the flavor. You can't have lemonade without lemons. And I
Ah,
was like, it's
that's
good and
real.
bad times. You have both, right? You do it
Yeah.
again. So I was coming up with these quotes and I just kept coming up with them. And so I chose just 365 of those because I have over like 3,000 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I have like
Yeah,
3,000. I just chose like
yeah,
365.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wrote that. And then I said, God, how you want me to do this? So then he gave me this story, right? And y'all won't believe this. But it's something that I believe in now. I believe in God so much, and He's working in my. I haven't worked, and y'all won't believe this. I had lost my job back in like December. Got released. Just they didn't. They had something things going on. Just lost it, and I was like, I was a little worried, and I haven't worked since then, and I had to worry about any bills. He had promised me that this journey that I'm gonna take with the book is gonna be a good journey, a great one for people
Look
to
at
learn
God.
these things,
Come on.
And I took faith. And he told me, he said, if faith is the thing that's gonna get you, if faith is the thing that gets you there, then faith will be the thing that will carry you through.
Mm.
That's right.
And then
Amen.
and then
That's what I'm
I
talking about.
said, hey, see these quotes that keep coming, right? So he's
Yes.
like, start with that quote, start with that, and turn it into paragraphs and all this other stuff. And then it became interchangeable. If God is the thing that gets you there, then God will be the thing that carries you through. So if
Yeah.
you live
Hmm.
by something that you believe in, it's gonna do what? It's gonna flourish into that same thing. You live
Yeah.
by the gun, you die by the gun. You start hanging around the wrong
That's
people,
right.
you
They're
start doing
gonna
the
be,
wrong
yeah.
thing. You guys are positive spirits. So guess what? It's gonna be natural for this order of conversation to be positive.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
gonna be
I
that
just
kind of
posted
thing.
about that. I just posted
Yeah,
about that. Energy transfer is real. So to be careful and
Yes.
mindful of who you are with and around and allow in your space.
That's
You
right.
yeah,
Absolutely.
come on,
Now
confirmation.
That's real.
you
That's real.
tell a bad
Because it's
Come
so
spirit
on,
when
easy
you
Mel.
to
see it
jump
Yeah.
now.
into you.
Mm,
I'm a
You know what,
firm
my
believer in spirits.
yes,
yeah.
I'm a firm
Me
believer
too.
in spirits. I
Yeah.
don't allow everybody to walk in my house. I don't
No.
allow people in my car. I will spray the devil off in a minute.
Quick.
I don't believe, I'm telling you, I believe
yeah.
in spirit. I walk by and I'm gonna do that deuce now. I'm gonna be like, deuce.
Yeah,
You
because
know what?
it's the instinct tells you that.
That's
Yes.
even that's even in relationships.
Girl, that's a subject
Any
for
kind of
another
ship.
day.
My parents taught me that when it was time to start dating and stuff.
Yeah.
Back then they look into the families that you are dating in
Mm-hmm.
and make
Absolutely.
sure that everything is lined up and solid
Line up and in
because
order.
those
Yep.
spirits, those different individual spirits can jump
That
into you.
DNA.
So
That's
there you
right.
go. So you have to be very, very careful with relationship, with friendship, with family ship, a ship,
Any kind of
everything.
ship.
Yep.
And everything that's going and because at the end of the day, you have definitely got to guard your peace.
And
Yeah,
that's something my
you
dad
got to
always
guard
taught
your
me.
peace. And I'm gonna tell you this too. Grandma always used to tell us, you got to be careful who you shack up with. Now that was
Come
the old
on,
folks.
the shack
There
Who you
you go.
shack
word.
up with,
There you go.
lay up with,
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
because you need to know what kind of medication they on. Because your baby, if you get pregnant,
baby.
50% of your DNA come from them. They'll get 50% from you and 50% from you.
yeah.
So if you got two fools, you know you got a whole
You got a
fool.
Whole
whole.
food, baby. Yes.
I
That's
ain't
something
You
my dad
playing
I
with
got to
said
that.
know who you
my daddy
dating.
always my dad always taught me everybody ain't your friend and your family, and
That's
never say
real.
never.
That's right.
Never say
Never,
no.
never. But you know what? One thing, AJ, I was saying, I was thinking, you know, and Mel just spoke on that. Things that
Mm-hmm.
you have been through. Like
Mm-hmm.
with me, I've been through homelessness. So I
Mhm.
turned that homelessness
Wow.
around and opened a homeless shelter and
Come on.
I graduated 28 women out of my program
Come
2 weeks
on.
prior, 2 weeks prior to the pandemic coming in. And you know, all those ladies that graduated through my program now, except two of them, they have their own homes, they're married, they're doing great because we keep up.
Yes.
And you have to in anything that you go to, and I'm not saying this to boast, I'm saying this to say things
You
that
can
you go
boast.
through
You can
on the
boast because that's good.
negative,
Right.
anything that you go through that is negative, you
You
yourself
can
can
make
turn
it
it
positive.
around and help
That's
somebody
right.
and bring somebody through because you don't want to see them go through what
Yeah.
you've been through.
Well, I'm gonna say congratulations, Queen. I'm proud of you.
Thank
It's a
you.
lot to boast
Absolutely.
on.
Thank you.
That's a
I,
lot to boast on. And if you
I
don't
don't,
do it, I'm gonna do it for you. I'm
thank
proud of you. And I don't even
Well,
know
I
you. I'm
think
gonna
the
still say I'm
biggest
proud of you.
right, the biggest thing is people go through things in life and sometimes they never share it with anybody. So you never know they're going through trials and tribulations.
you.
And then there are some that go through things knowingly they can help somebody
I
else
won't.
and they regurgitate and hold
Won't.
back and don't share that
Yeah.
spirit. You
But you know what,
got to
teacher?
share a divine spirit.
You know
Now, if
what,
I
teacher?
give it to you from the kindness of my heart,
Mm-hmm.
how you perceive it is up to you.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do what thus said the Lord and provide
Right.
that walking testimony.
That's
Right.
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 Now,
Because
whether
you know
you
what?
take it or not, it's on you, baby.
If you don't share, it's on your hand.
It's
It
on your
is.
hands.
And this
It,
is why
that's
when I was telling y'all earlier, when I post on my page, I've gotten so many people to judge me. Believe it or not, I've even gotten judged on how I carry myself as a widow from people that have not even walked into my shoes. So when I post when I do, and I share trips, my page is open. It's an open book. I share my trips. I share I mean, just the smallest little thing, not a
yeah.
lot, but
Right.
Tika will be able to tell you she sees my page, and I
Yeah,
just try to show people you can do different things in life instead of just sitting home, feeling bad for yourself. And like y'all said, sharing the knowledge, sharing the wealth, because that's giving that blessing back that God allowed you and God blessed you with.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I'm like that. I love to see me being able to put a smile on somebody's face, even if it may not be
absolutely.
something big. It's just the fact that it feels good in my heart that I can
Yeah.
bless them with what God blessed me with.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm a firm believer on that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I
You
tell
know.
y'all, anybody who know Dr. Tika, I lives my best life, baby.
You
Yes.
do.
I ain't waiting to no retirement, y'all.
No.
I ain't old enough to get no social security, so I'm gonna enjoy life.
Listen,
When I
especially
hear
with this
it's like what
economy.
I think age 62, I'm like, I ain't gonna never make it
Yeah.
there. The 62. Can y'all imagine me sitting still? ADHD
No.
ain't gonna let me sit still.
I
So
can't see
I
Same
you
thing
sitting
got
here.
still.
to,
Yeah.
Tika,
I got to do
I,
something.
I can't
Huh?
see you sitting. I can't see you sitting still in the grave.
I'll be
it,
rolling around talking about, Lord, what you got for me?
He gonna say,
so
now, daughter, you doing too much. I need you to sit down.
And I'm
Oh,
extra. I am real extra. I'm just
is.
Yeah.
extra as I want to be.
All right,
Uh-oh. Mel
Mel.
was about to say something.
yeah. So y'all, you guys touched on a lot of good points. Sharing your story. That's why I named the testimonies. I had to say
Mm.
testimony, right? And
Testimonies.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and soon to come, I did two. I've already done two. But I have a podcast. And,
Yeah.
yeah,
Congratulations.
and it's supposed
Congrats,
to
boo.
be it's supposed to be called Divine Testimonies of Truth.
Okay.
Which
Okay.
So it's a spinoff from my book of My Testimonies of Truth 365 as my life evolves. There's the seasons change, so does my life. So each book
Come on.
changes to do whatever it has to do. And
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.
yeah. And so one thing though, I've listened to y'all, and I'm a good listener because I'm a life coach as well. So I kind of just tapped in. I hear AJ talk about, her problem. Well, I don't call them problems because there was just lessons that you had to go through, AJ,
Yeah.
in your
Absolute life
walk with
Man,
God.
lessons.
I don't consider those
listen.
problems. And I listened to Queen talking about homelessness. I was 3 time homeless, Miss Queen, but yeah, I've been in literally trying to find places to stay,
Wow.
and I got in trouble a little bit. And like I said, I tell a little story about that because I didn't want to go too deep into it yet. I wanted to go ahead and tell the story to show
Yeah.
people that you could get through something first before,
Yes.
because like you said, if you tell them too much negative, too
Oh
much
yeah. Oh
too
yeah.
much
Oh yeah.
heartache. They're like, man, so what did you do to get to where you at now? You look like you're healthy. You look like you're good. Tell me and give me the sauce. Give me the juice. You get what I'm saying?
Mm,
So they
Yeah.
want to know those type of things. Like, you still got
mhm.
your hairline. Yeah, you over 40. You ain't got no grays. You know what I'm saying? You might have a
Yeah.
nice forehead on you, but you good. But what I was just trying to tell you is this: when I went into thinking about this, and God said to me, and He spoke to me. I promise you, I when He said, "Listen, you don't believe that I could do this for you, right? You
Mm,
don't think that this is something that I could do for you." He said, "When you write these books, you're gonna help so many different people. It's supposed to be self-help, all positivity, right? But
Right.
as you write it, you're gonna give some negative things about yourself.
mhm.
It's gonna be so
Some
bad.
nuggets.
Yeah, it's gonna be little nuggets like, hey,
Yes.
yeah, he used to sell weed when he was younger, and he got in trouble and he lost his football scholarship, and all the little stuff that's going on, and he could no longer stay in independent living because he was in a foster home and all the little stuff. Like this is just a lot of little stuff that was going through, right? And
Mm.
so he said to me, he said, all right, well, book 2 though, book 1 was about helping people, and in the 4 ways I want you to help them, I want you to first teach them how to journal. Teach them that, and when they record something, not journal just writing, but journal recording, journal talking, journal interacting, right? And then he says, the next one I want you to do, I want you to teach them how to use mindfulness meditation, being thoughtful in the present moment and homing in on what's really real of
Mm.
consciousness versus subconsciousness. Because you know what
Yep.
subconsciousness is the back of your brain.
Back of the
Yes.
brain.
Yeah,
Yep.
all it's doing is processing stuff and recording it. It's not telling you what to do. Then he said, you know what? Since that, you have to teach them how to be their own Trinity because they were made in the form of God. God is the
Yes.
Trinity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
That's
So
right.
teach
Yes,
them,
we.
yeah. But then he said, teach them that they have their own Trinity because they're God as well. You all goddesses.
Absolutely.
You are all goddesses. He said, you know, you're a child of God. So therefore you are, so I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, okay, then I can do all things, through Christ who strengthens me, right? Then I can do those things. And so I'm learning these Bible verses. I'm like, man, what? I was in church when I was younger, but I wasn't this spiritual. I was not this spiritual now. Come on.
Won't he do it?
And then he said to me, the last thing he said, now listen, these other 2 things, you have to go get therapy. You got to go get help.
Yep.
Therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. I talk about it in book 1. And then he said, the last one I want you to do, you gotta check your body. Your body got to be
Mm,
good. Matter of fact,
Mm-hmm.
your mind, your body, and
my
soul,
and
which
soul.
is your Trinity, which is your
Yes.
Trinity. All 3 has to be balanced.
That's
It
right.
can't be one more than the next. So you
Mm-mm.
work yourself out and you get, you in shape. I told, and you feeling yourself. You feel like Kanye West. You getting it back and forth. You
Hey.
percolating back and forth, getting good. And then you talk about work that body, yeah, and all that. Nah, we ain't doing just that. Let's work this mind too, because your
Yes.
mind has to be
There you
cultivated
Your
go.
mind would
correctly.
be. Your mind is
That CPU
everything.
has to be
Yes.
Yes.
processing this information
Yep.
correctly.
Right.
Then the
You're
last
so
one,
right.
it's big. It's big. And Tika, you discussed this earlier. It's the spirit. But be careful of the spirit, because the spirit can work two ways.
That's
It can
real.
either work, it can either work in
Or you're
righteousness,
against you.
or it can work within the wicked.
Here we
So
go.
when the wicked and righteousness, but then guess what? I teach you this in book 3. I teach you that there's a third way. It's you. If you
Mm.
don't align well with either God or align well with the devil, you're still making a choice. That's where free will come
Either
in.
way.
That's where free will come in. And
Mm.
so I told myself, and then God said, you know what? If I could teach Noah how to build an ark without tools, I could
Jesus.
teach you how to read and write. And that's when I said, wait a second, you got a point there. You teaching Noah how to
Mm.
build an ark with all those people. Back then, Tika, do you even know? You think there was tools back then to just bail the
Right.
hell
No
in?
Just
tools.
them hands.
They had to make whatever they had to make do to make it make sense. There wasn't no nails. There wasn't no, you know, it maybe tell the story of it, but like for real, what are we looking at, right? So
Mm-hmm.
those 4 concepts came to me. And then, after I learned about myself, he said, tell the world about how to connect and disconnect within the world. That was book 2. And talk a little bit about duality,
Mhm.
opposites. You have the heaven, but you have hell. You have positive people, but you have negative people. They
Do
have to
swimming.
learn. Yeah, you have to learn about that, right?
Yep.
You have your
Yes.
highs and your lows, right? And you keep balance. But then you know what he said to me? And he told me to tell the people this. The only way that you can exist within the world that you're in is to have a balance. Just like Miss
My
Tika
God.
said, Dr. Tika said, hey, listen, I party just as hard as I work, right? She put in that
That's
effort. She
right.
put in that time. And
Mm-hmm.
She
so,
earned it.
yeah, she earned it every step. And I do the same thing. People can't
That's
tell me
right.
how to live.
Me too.
I don't care what they say. Like,
That's
listen, I
right.
went through hard times. I worked for 7 years as a security guard, 4 days a week, along with working as a professor at a university. Then as also working as, this was like 4 years straight. And then also doing a recreational coordinator position. I did a lot, all trying to balance and then trying to give people jobs that's leaving out of jail for doing security work.
Mm-hmm.
Then also trying to do shows, and it was just so much going on. So I just tell y'all, and I'm gonna end it like this: learn how you associate to the world, and
Yeah.
learn how the world associate to you.
To you.
That will show
That's
your
right.
connection. But learn how they associate. No,
Yeah.
learn how you associate to the world, and learn how they associate back to you. But also say this: this will only way that you can serve your purpose. Learn your association, learn how you associate. Learn their association, how they associate to you. And that will provide your purpose. You will only
Wow.
know your purpose if you know how things connect to you.
Absolutely. And I got
Yes.
to agree with you because the thought that come to my mind when I hear this conversation is trouble is easy to get in, but hard to
Hard
get
to get
out.
at.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
And I knew
Yes.
orange, I'm gonna say from the country, orange ain't my color to be in.
Yeah.
I don't like stripes either.
Nope. Oh,
I
and
love
anyway.
my freedom.
Yeah.
So I always thought about, my mama tell us she get us out of jail for everything except for stealing and killing,
No, that's right.
unless you're defending yourself.
Yep.
And that always stuck in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first time when I got a job back in the day, you had to go to the county or to the police station to get your fingerprints
Fingerprint.
done
Yeah.
so they could run you. And when I heard that door shut, bang, I got so nervous, y'all. I'm like, I'm not the one you want to come to the jail to visit you. That ain't my
No.
set. Now I'm gonna
No.
pray for you while you on the phone line. But I didn't understand how people just went to the jail and just had conversations behind the wall, pick up the phone. It just didn't relate to me. I couldn't understand living a livelihood like that. I'm like, I don't want this. I don't want my mama to have to go through that. I always thought about my parents. I don't want my parents to have to come visit me at the jailhouse because I wasn't raised like that. And I know things do happen in life to people, but I have to really think about. Now, I was bad as the Dickens growing up because I was one
What?
of the child. If you said Don't go out there wonder. I don't
We
step
gonna
on
go.
that.
That's
You
right.
know, you got to be home. I tested the
You ain't
water.
believe sugar was sweet.
I
Ah.
sure didn't. Sure didn't. I sure did not.
Mm-mm.
But as I got older, you know, those old sayings that grandma used to tell you all the time,
They come with
now
perspective. Yep.
through life, it gave you a different perspective. Now you
Yep.
understood why you need to be home for the street light came on. You
Mine, especially
understood
now.
why you didn't hang with the wrong people.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, you understood that the stove was hot, don't touch it. You now, and then you try to tell your kids, your nieces, your nephews the same thing. They test the water. But
Mhm.
this millennial generation of children and people that we
Girl,
get is totally
I
different
don't know
from
where
the
these
way we
children
were
come
brought in this
from.
world.
I don't know where they
They
coming
from
from or
another
what they
planet.
I
feeding
don't
or what they
understand.
doing. Because
They
they doing
from
stuff
another planet.
we ain't never
And you
thought of
know
doing
what?
in our time.
You know what? And they bold with it. They don't care.
They don't.
They don't care. When do
They
we
they
stop
have
caring about
they
each
They
have
are
other?
no care in the
fearless.
world.
You
Senseless.
know,
When
But let me
did
ask y'all a
your
question.
neighbor stop being able to say, "Hey, I'm gonna tell your mama, I'm a pop you, don't do that," and we yes
facts.
ma'am, no ma'am? When did the shift change that we no longer say yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir,
Uh-oh,
no sir?
he got the church finger up. He put the church
Uh-oh.
finger up.
I'm
The church
just
finger.
asking, cause I still do it at my age. You
Yeah,
gonna always see me say yes ma'am, no ma'am.
facts.
So
But
I I have an opinion in this, and it's just an opinion. I got a quote that
mhm,
says, "Just because you tell me something doesn't necessarily make it correct, but I'll
that's
still
right.
listen with an open. But I'll still listen with an open heart. And as long as it's subjective, I it's as long as it's subjective, it's with the heart. But
Mhm.
if it's the mind that's speaking, it's just learn. It's just information that was already taught
Right.
and or seen in some type of way. Open mindedness meaning learning somebody else's information. So I say this: laws has been changed. That's one. That's what I
Yes.
believe. There's a lot of people within this in our community that have changed a lot of laws. And but guess who
Yeah.
accepted? But guess who want the laws to be changed? Our generations.
Us.
Yeah.
The ones that are
Us.
our age, like the ages anywhere between 35 and up to like 55. We have It's our fault. We you know what? We didn't like getting whooped back then with the little whips off the trees. We didn't like getting spankings. We didn't like being told that we were getting three spankings from three different people growing up. We just didn't like it. And just
And
being real, we went to our mama house,
I
got
agree with
beat. Then
that.
went to your
Yeah.
grandmama house, got beat. Then went to your daddy
And
house,
at the
got beat.
school.
Yeah,
And at the
and then you
school.
got beat at the school. We didn't like it. So now we started saying, well, they're gonna try. Go ahead.
Y'all went through. I think the first time when I saw a spanking, it looked like it hurt. I wasn't that child that went out and did everything. I was mischievous now, don't get me wrong. But if you knew that ruler hurt, why keep doing the stuff to get spankings? It didn't make sense to me.
Well, a lot
You
of the
got to
time,
go get the tree limb, the branch
That's
off
it.
the tree to
And the
spank
shoe.
you.
Yeah, and the
I would
shoe.
find
Yeah.
the tiniest branch I could find. I didn't understand that. That didn't.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
I didn't understand that.
it look
You
like
got
Miss
to
Well,
Queen
break
got
let
her hand
together to
up
get.
now. Look
My
like Miss
You
let
Queen
me
got her
experience
hands
all
up.
that.
let me break it down. My mama, I'm here at my mama's
Experience that
house.
right there, Queen.
I'm here at my mama's house, and she can attest to what I'm telling y'all. I got a whipping darn near all day, every day.
Same here.
Okay.
Yep. I
And
relate.
and 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 they can say don't do this and don't do that. I'm the one gonna do it. I'm gonna push the button. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
whippings
That
over
was
and
me.
over and over. Matter of fact, I still got some whips. I told her the other day I'm finna call the police. I had a flashback.
Call them.
Okay, but but
Lord.
but but here's the thing, y'all. The kids today, and the Bible speaks of it. They're gonna be weaker and wiser. Okay, so we have to look at the generation that's coming up. The generation that's coming up now is really not their fault. And I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah, I'm about
Tell
to
me
get
why,
mad.
girl.
We have kids raising kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
All of the older people are leaving us. And because of the disrespect of the kids that are growing up now, they scared to even say anything to them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But people like me, I'm gonna say something to them. If they say something, probably gonna be ready to get a belt after they behind. Now that's just
Yep.
me. But everybody's not bold like me. But there are
Yeah.
some kids that will really, they might not like what you say, but they'll listen, they'll respect you. Then there's some that
Yeah.
just
For the
don't
most
care.
part.
But you have to understand the times that we are living in. As Mel said, seasons are changing.
Mhm.
And that's the thing,
Okay,
what I was saying with these parents now, like you said, and I agree with you, and I definitely agree with Mel. With these kids raising kids is almost as if we're going back into, like I said earlier, the pioneer days when you have, and I'm not judging anyone,
right,
when
right.
you have younger mothers, younger parents, younger fathers,
Mhm.
and they want to be their child's friend versus saying,
Yes,
I'm gonna
Being the
be your
parent.
parent and I'm gonna make sure I put that iron fist down on you, or let a kid be a kid because they just a kid, or we
right.
not gonna do this because when it starts out when they small and they smart mouth and they think it's cute because they saying
Yes,
something slick or they saying something smart and they talking back. But then when they're 10 years old, when they talking back to you and they jumping up to you and they disrespecting the teacher and you constantly at the school, like Nell said, we created that because we
we
allowed them
did.
to be a kid. We
Yes,
allowing them to have, and kids nowadays, to me, they got more rights than what we ever, never could never
yes,
think of. And I
yes.
don't even understand that
Man,
at
I don't
all.
either.
when
Mm-mm.
I
Have
heard,
you all
when I
seen?
heard, go
Go
ahead,
ahead. I'm
go ahead.
sorry, Mel. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, when I heard, I was dating this young lady, and I heard her 2 year old told me, I'm gonna call the police on you.
Baby,
I'm going to jail for
What?
real.
What? And I said, what you gonna do that
I'm,
for? Look, she said, I'm gonna call the police on you because you didn't let me get no candy.
well,
What?
their relationship over.
Listen. What I'm trying to tell you. Like in their
Their
head,
relationship is over.
Automatically.
no. But let me tell you what happened along with that. She tested it in the grocery store as well. She
No.
went, yeah.
Temper
She
tantrum.
said, she said, if you don't get me what I want, I'm gonna scream.
Where was her mama?
Her mama wasn't there. I was just with her. You know, she used to being around me, but she was in the grocery store at Walmart, and she said I wanted this. She said it was some kind of candy or something that she seen, and she wanted it. And so I was like, listen, I'm not going through this with you right now. And if you don't move, I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna grab you, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get in the car, take you home. And when I get home, you're gonna eat. You're gonna do whatever is necessary. And you're gonna go straight to bed because I'm not dealing with that. Like I wasn't gonna beat her. I wasn't gonna go through that because that's not my. I really believe in this. I believe in like families, unless a parent actually is married. I believe all the way married and locked in, like we are
Mhm.
all on the same page. If we're not, if we're just boyfriend and girlfriend and we're just playing that role, I don't
Mhm.
believe in touching the child. I believe in letting the mother handle whatever they got to handle. And I can only tell you that to say this: there's so many more single families
Yes,
now
God.
than there is, and that's why we also having problems. Because a male like me, I'm gonna discipline that child. I have ways and knowing that my masculinity, you get what I'm saying, is a little
Mhm.
more. But I also talk about this in book 3. I talk about relationships in book 2, but in book 3, I mentioned this. I said the best family dynamic is the original mother, the original father, and the original child.
But
You take
brokenness is
one
a
of the
common thing now.
yeah, but you missing
Very.
at least one. I don't care what it is. You're gonna always have problems. That's why foster kids don't do well because they don't have the original parents. I don't
Mhm.
care if you gave them another sort of parents. It's just not the organic way of them growing up. They're gonna always feel like their parents,
They're
in
angry.
most cases,
Yep. They
yeah,
abandoned them.
they're gonna
Yep.
feel resentment and all this other stuff that goes along with it. So I believe that those things are the things that are need to be corrected now in these families dynamics. Because if it is, then we could go ahead and we can make a couple of changes.
Well,
That's true.
that generational curse stuff is
Yeah.
real
Hmm.
Mhm.
because they go sit there and say just as much as, well, my mama or my daddy didn't show me this, or like you said, when the kids raising kids nowadays, you got grandmamas again, I'm not judging anybody, but you
That's
got
right.
grandmothers that are now 34, 35. You don't have
Yeah.
the, like you said, old school big mamas, because now these
Mm-hmm.
younger grandmothers, we trying to be outside. We trying to make sure
There
we
you
having
go.
fun and life we living. We ain't got no time to be raising you. And then we got a grandbaby.
You ain't
Oh,
lying.
my life is done.
I love you to
So
forgot
You
about
ain't
me.
lying.
a lot of them, and they don't have just as much as you see some that just don't do the basic sitting down at a dinner table, because that's how I was raised. Every day we sit down eat dinner
Yes,
in,
we were
the
too.
week, and
Yes,
on Sunday we praying before we eat, and that's
that's
for
right.
breakfast and dinner, and we go sit down. You don't have a lot of those morals and values that's
Mm-mm.
instilled in these kids nowadays. So now it's just kind of like taboo. They'll see it on TikTok, they'll see it on Instagram, they'll
Mm-hmm.
see it um other than the home. And when they say, hey, this is why we don't do this, why don't we don't do this, they have the resentment and they get angry until they get adults like, oh man, I
You're
wasn't
right.
taught this. I
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah, the
shown
world
this.
is forever
Tablets.
changing.
Tablets are raising our kids now. Tablets are
Yes.
raising
Yes.
our
Yes.
kids.
Uh-oh. Miss Thickums. Uh-oh.
Y'all listen. I've been seeing this. It's this little girl. Oh, she's a pretty little girl. I don't know how old she is, but she do these skits, and she's always cursing. And y'all, it's discouraging to me.
When you say little girl, you mean like she's small? Like
Oh yeah,
you trying to
she's
say she
got to
under
be. She's under five.
Sing that one.
I know
Oh
what you're
yeah.
talking about because
Uh-huh.
she was mocking her mother. She's mocking
Yeah.
her mother,
She's marking
who
the
does
yes.
cursing and that. And like you said, it's disturbing, and I can see why. I can see
It's
why.
very disturbing. And then her mama, people are on there making comments like, "Why would you allow your child?" And she says, "Well, one thing about this is my child. Secondly, my child don't do this. She only does this for the skit, but she's not like this." What do you mean? You're making her to become who you are because she's
she's
mimicking you
she's already like that.
already. And all I do, I get mad and I start. And I said, Lisa, don't do this, because the woman gonna pop up and say something to me, and we gonna have to
Oh,
have a meeting.
baby, y'all gonna see
So
me on the news holding up the little placards
right,
and them people
so
jail with my
so what
little
I
sign
did,
up. Mm,
I began to just say, you know what, I'm gonna pray.
that's
I'm just
right.
gonna pray
That's what you can
because
do.
prayer can do what we
Yeah.
really want to do and can't do. So when we see these things, we begin to pray about situations and about families, because
And over this
listen,
generation.
the
Yes,
Bible
ma'am.
says that, hey, Satan is here to kill, steal, and destroy, and that's in any way that he can possibly get in. And a lot of and I feel like a lot of kids are being made on TikTok, and I don't know. Families could need money, so they'll put their kids out there. I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is we have got to get to a place where we have a normal life. You know,
Structure.
we got to have some more normalcy. So it takes us that know who God is.
Mhm.
It's going to take us to pray and stay on one accord for our children and our families. So it's
Absolutely.
it's
And
it's it's
it
crazy out here. It's crazy
the
out here.
saying goes, it takes a village to raise a
To
child.
raise
That's
his
a true
village.
Yes,
statement
yes,
because
Yep.
if you know resources, share the resources.
yes.
Not everybody's on Facebook. Not
Right.
everybody understands technology.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be willing to provide and share your
Absolutely. Yep.
resources and the love and the hugs to help raise these kids.
Yes,
Like I
Yes.
yes.
said, I go back to my saying, my mom was a neighborhood mom. She helped raise a lot of children. Was it her responsibility?
Mm-hmm.
No. But for the community resource, if you had a child that may not have come out, was in a different situation,
Mm-hmm.
she provided that shelter for those kids.
Yes, yes.
So I tell people, I got so many sisters and brothers. It's unbelievable.
That's
I
right.
was raised with these kids. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I
Well,
got
this
one on here
explains
right
you.
now.
It
Yep.
explains who you are as a
You feel me?
person.
Because that's how I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
remember when I probably said my first cuss word. And I was raised that to say lie was a
That
cuss
was a
word.
curse word.
You
That's
say,
right.
You
You
telling
about to
a
get your
story. You better
face,
You
say
better
you
not
telling
say
a
it in front of my
story.
mama right now.
because you gonna get smacked until about 2 weeks later if you
Hey,
still
not
say
only
you
that,
lying.
hey, if you
When
say
I
something, you
tell
say,
y'all I'm so old fashioned and tradition, it ain't even funny.
but wait a minute,
Fame
my
saying
That
mama,
here.
was a cuss
you
word
have this
in
on.
my
Yeah.
household. You didn't say that.
Mama,
That was a cuss word.
listen, my mama can be sitting here and we talking to her and she'll say something. I say something about that. I say, mama, that's not true. So you calling me a lie then?
Well,
Lie.
who you talking?
Absolutely.
Hold on. Who you talking to? You got your
Who
people mixed up.
so you calling me a lie? I'm like,
You got your people
no,
mixed
it's
up.
not a lie, but ain't no buts to it. I'm gonna be always right. How about that?
Come on. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. So I got a whole bunch of stored up curse words that I'm
Mm.
saving for a good old fashioned time.
That's
Baby.
Now
right.
people say, can I
That's right.
use one? But
Yeah.
Yes,
no, that's just how we was raised. We were raised
Yeah.
to share love, share your clothes,
that's right.
we
Yep,
did a whole bunch. We
yep,
we we just did
I'm
provide
appreciative of how we were
transportation,
raised. That's for
yeah.
sure.
I'm thankful,
Very
honey.
thankful.
What?
share your food.
Very.
If somebody was hungry, you broke bread with them. That's
Yeah,
just
At
that's
how
least what I
right.
I
can
was
say,
raised.
our generation knows how to survive and thrive, even if
We
we
know
don't
how to
have
survive. Because
Hmm.
when you went
without.
to grandma's house, it was 30 of us. We
Yes.
ain't had no comfortable bed, baby. You better get that blanket or that pillow, feet all over the place. You just
And
find
like,
your little
look,
spot.
and
You
like
know
Yeah.
you
Nellie
got a
Mel
spot.
said, we ain't had no tablets, we ain't had no phones, we ain't had
Uh-uh.
none of that. So
Mm-mm.
I am very grateful. Matter of fact,
Mm-mm.
we probably had barely had a black and white TV that was one in the house that everybody had to sit down in front of and share. So yes,
That's
So we
why we
appreciate, we can appreciate at where we come from. We can appreciate the things
that's
that
right.
we had to go through. My mom always telling me that they gave me, I must listen, me and my son is he's 18. I never had to spank him. I mean, this is God, my hand to God. I've never had to, he's always been such an humble
It's,
child.
it's a
And
blessing.
my mama say, who child is that? Because that ain't yours. You but at the same time, I thank God that my son
Yeah.
is the way he is. I thank God. And being a single parent, hey, he's getting ready to
yeah.
graduate high school. I
Amen.
Congratulations.
thank
Yes.
God for it,
Yes.
But at the end of the day, y'all, we have got to pray
Yes. Right.
more now than
Than ever.
ever.
Than
Yes.
ever. Yes.
If you
Yes.
don't know who he is, you better get a connection.
I ain't
No
lying.
better.
You
No
better get
better.
you better
Well,
get that
y'all, we
connection.
are about to wrap it up, but before we wrap it up, I do know there's 2 books and 2 book signings going on. AJ, you got a new book coming out that you kind
Yep.
of co-authored. Give us a quick summary or
Um,
synopsis of that.
so this one is we just we're still in the beginning stages of it. It's called Rising Through the Pain. Prayers and like you said, prayers and devotion for joy restoration. And this one more focuses on, and that's Dr. Vanessa Blackwell, the beautiful, talented, super smart Dr. B. This is more going dealing with traumas, dealing with pains, dealing with things that have mentally, spiritually, and even physically broke you down. So we're going to get more into detail with creating a format or creating another source, how y'all say, for people to be able to say, you know what, it's okay, I feel bad. It's okay, I'm going through this.
Yes.
As long as I know I'm gonna get through it.
Yes. Yes.
So
Amen.
Awesome.
I'll keep you posted when it's gonna actually kick off and do a launch.
Okay, and then
Thank you.
oh, Nelly Mail, he got something coming up. Come on, tell us
Yes.
about your signing, baby.
Check out the suit,
All right.
y'all.
So
Okay.
Okay.
yeah. So I have a couple of projects coming up. Like I said, I have the podcast that is supposed to be launching. I've already talked about that, and then I also have my 2 books. One book, of course, Winter came out last year. If y'all see it,
Mhm.
That's
real
so
nice,
Yes.
beautiful.
and it's a journal as well. Gives you opportunity to write in it. Do whatever you got to do. If y'all need these, just DM me at Melvin Walters. At Facebook, and then Melly Mel 3011 at Instagram. You just
All
DM me.
right.
Oh
I promise
yes,
you,
I
I
forgot
get
to
it
say
mailed
that.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll mail it out to you. I listen. I'm just as good as Amazon. Trust me, it's still on Amazon, but I'm just as good as them.
that's right. And on, I
Now,
forgot my social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm AJ Jones, and on Instagram, I am AJ Sapper Mama. SAPPERMAMA.
All right.
that's right.
So if you
Better
reach out to
get
me, I was still about the book too.
and
That's a
Awesome.
then my
beautiful
second
cover,
book,
Melly Mel.
then my second book, you can tell it's an upgrade. Look at the earth, right? Look at the fruits of my labor. You see my
Okay.
fruits of my labor. You see what I'm doing there? As I give my
Yes.
fruits
Yeah.
to the world, as I'm doing that. And this is now how do I connect to the world and how the world connects to me. And
Okay.
so now you go from individuality, learning about self, and just you, the roots, and how you see the roots at the bottom. You see the
Yes.
water stains. You're going through problems. You're going through issues. You see
Yes.
the earth tones and those type of things.
Okay.
The main thing I just want to let y'all know is that each book is a journal for self development, but also learning the things around you. And the next two books that's coming out is just going to hit you so differently because you're going to learn about Trinity. You're going to learn about threes. You're going to learn about the past, the present, and future. You're going to learn about um, how triangles are stronger in
Mhm.
like triangles is the strongest shape in within the geometrical system, but it only got 3 points. You're going to learn about how the different orders of God, the devil, and then human beings is threes as well, three-dimensional figures. And then we go into fours. And when we go into fours, you got to know about compasses and guides and north, south,
A
east, and
directed
west,
life.
quarters, and
Amen.
all these different things. I got so many different things. I don't want to bore you. I want you to read it. I want you to cop the book. I want you to come out.
Yes.
And I have a book signing April 13th at Zingali's in Tallahassee, Florida. And then I have a after party because I'm so excited at Sharky's nightclub over in by Pockets in Tallahassee, Florida. Please come
Yes.
out,
Okay.
support. Hey, Tika, I appreciate you. I want to thank God. I
Yes.
thank all the
Thank
people
y'all.
because now like they say, and I want the younger people to understand this. If y'all using the word trapping, trap some knowledge.
Ooh,
Trap some knowledge.
boom.
That's right.
I'm trapping books. Y'all don't understand. I'm putting it out
Clock
there
it.
for y'all to understand. Listen, it's been a long time, but I'm getting the younger people to understand this. This is something big for African Americans. I'm going through something that I never been before. I didn't know how to read and write. So for me not knowing how to read and write that well, now I'm here. I'm gonna tap these.
Yeah.
Look, you hear that?
Yeah. And I definitely want to say that Tika and Thickums, I really sincerely appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart for allowing us to be on this show and taking the time to even say, hey, this is who we are and exposing
Right.
us to another side of the spectrum of the world. So I
Oh,
appreciate y'all
yes.
very much so.
You are
And
You
so
one
all
last
are
thing. One last thing
certainly
though,
welcome.
Tika, I have to give Tim Mosley shout out. And I want to
Okay.
give him brother Tim Mosley because he's been so supportive and like seeing me through stuff. And also check out his foundation, the Less Fortunate Still Matters Foundation.
wow.
He has
Okay.
been helping kids and helping families, feed them, take them through the struggle and understanding that anything is possible. So I like that because I was raised in a foster home. I remember when they had the refrigerators locked and we couldn't get nothing to eat because they put a lock on the refrigerators. We
I
we we
know.
we got to know that kids are going through that. They go to school, they can't eat well. They not even they malnutrition, and then now they can't study correctly. We have to make sure that we understand. That's why the podcast I'm getting ready to do, I'm trying to connect nonprofits with people like that knows basically how things are what they, if they don't know if they don't know what the foundations are that can help them, I'm gonna help them to guide them to that. So
That
definitely,
is a
Absolutely.
blessing.
man, I
Yeah.
appreciate you. I'm
Yeah.
thankful for it, man. Very thankful.
Yeah.
To God be
Well,
the
once
glory.
again, we thank both of you all for joining us tonight.
Great
You know,
show.
on
Great
behalf
show.
of my team, Queen always end our show on a positive word of encouragement in a song. So, Queen, I'm gonna turn it over to you, love.
No weapon formed against me
Yeah.
shall prosper.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
won't work. No weapon formed against
Yes,
me
Yeah.
shall prosper.
Yes.
It won't
yes,
work.
Lord.
God will do what he said he would do if you stand by his word. He will come through. God will do what he said he would do if you stand by his word. He will come through. No weapon
Oh,
formed against
Against
me
me.
shall prosper.
yeah.
It won't work. No weapon
Man.
formed against me shall prosper.
You better sing,
It
girl.
won't work. It just won't work. It
Yes.
No,
just won't work.
no,
No,
it won't
it
work.
just won't work.
No,
It
No
won't work.
weapon,
It
no. It just won't
won't work.
work. It just
no.
work. It just won't
That's
work.
right.
No
Yes.
weapon, no. So I want to say to each and everybody that is on this
Yes.
tonight, it is never too late to hit that share button. You can still make a comment if you would like to. We thank you for joining us. And just know, whatever it is that you are going through, what you have been through, and what you may go
Yes.
through in the future, give it to God and
Yes.
turn the
Amen.
negative into a positive. Always reach out and touch somebody because listen, if you sow good seeds, I promise you, good seeds will always
Always
come
come
back
back.
to you. We love you.
Yes.
There is nothing that you can do. We thank our guests. I have really enjoyed myself tonight. You touch my spirit.
Yes.
You
Yes.
really, you really, you
Absolutely.
Awesome.
really, you really touch me right here. You understand? Because at the end of the
Yes.
day, we all have our, hey, none of us are perfect.
Mm-mm.
Nobody but God will ever be perfect. We are imperfect people living in an imperfect world, but God is perfect and He got us all. Y'all be blessed,
Amen.
stay safe, love each other,
Yes.
and most of all,
Yes.
let's keep each other in prayer and watch what
Yes.
God will do. I'm going to sit right here and watch God.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Once again, y'all, thank you for joining us. 365. It wraps around the world. Until next week, y'all. Peace.
Good night.
Yeah.
Hey.
Y'all be good.